I made some chicken, sausage, and shrimp gumbo the other night. This dish came together beautifully with that chocolate roux and homemade chicken stock. I mean, it's fully loaded, jam-packed, but I held the okra though. I don't like okra. I'm gonna start off with the rice because you can't eat gumbo without it. So this is some jasmine rice that I have here. I'm using about 4 cups of that. I always measure it out into a bowl so I can just rinse it under cool water. And I do this about 5 times until the water starts to run a little clear. And I add it to that boiling water. I give it a stir and I add 2 bay leaves. I'll bring this to a boil, then I cover it and I let it cook for about 18 minutes. This is how it came out. Your cook time may vary. Some people cook it as long as 20 minutes. I heard some people cook it as short as 15 minutes, but I do 18 minutes and I get some nice fluffy rice. Now, moving right along to the Holy Trinity, I got an onion, green bell pepper, and celery. I diced those up, set them to the side so I could cut this sausage. Today, I'm using beef smoked sausage, only because the person I'm eating with cannot eat pork. But we all know for gumbo, andouille sausage is the way to go. Then I have a pound of boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I'm also going to get sliced up to throw right on in there. And last but not least, I have a pound of 20-30 shrimp that I'm going to add in later. I'm just hitting these chicken thighs with a little bit of kosher salt, black pepper, and I love this Louisiana Cajun seasoning, so I'm going to hit it with some of that. And this is pretty much all I use. Y'all already know, avocado oil. And I think y'all already know where I'm going with this. Yes, I'm browning my chicken first, get a nice crust on it. Then I'm browning my sausage in that same pan. I do this prior to making a roux, and then I'm going to make the roux in the same pan. It's only to build flavor. I remove all the meat, go down with the oil and the flour. You need equal parts of it. Remember that. I used a half cup of each. Then, you're going to have to put some work in at this stage. It took me about 20 minutes to get this roux, this color that I wanted. You got to stand to that stove and stir, stir, stir. Then I threw the Holy Trinity in there, along with some fresh garlic. We just letting the veggies sweat down a little bit, which is also adding flavor to this roux. Once the veggies have become translucent, I'm going to go ahead and add the meat back in, along with that homemade chicken stock. Drop a comment below if y'all want to know how I made that. At this point, I seasoned it with some Cajun seasoning, and it's always called taste as you go. So stop telling people they food too salty. You don't know for real, you ain't tasted. Now, that foam that you see is a bunch of impurities and fat that release from the meat. Another name for that is called soup scum, and what I do, I always scrape it off the top. They say it's a little bit easier if you use a chilled spoon, but I just did it regular. And then I added a little bit of fresh parsley, and I added in my shrimp at the last minute so they don't overcook, along with some gumbo filet that's going to help thicken it up a little bit. I heard some people like the filet, some don't. Some add it at the end as a garnish. It's really up to you, y'all, but I put it in there and it wasn't bad to me. But what I found out, if you use too much of the filet and you cook it for too long at too high of a heat, it will cause your meat to start becoming super shrinky all throughout. So be careful with that. I only added like a teaspoon, and this is how it came out. Now it's time to plate up. Get your favorite bowl for this dish. Make sure it's one that's big enough too. I put that rice down right in the middle, and it wasn't nothing to just ladle that good old gumbo right along the sides, okay? By this point, the house smelling good. We ready to eat. Everything is nice and hot. Don't forget to wipe down the sides of that bowl. And look at that. And then we need some green to make them colors pop. I'm using parsley. You can also use green onion, whatever you want. And this, my friends, is the final product of my chicken, sausage, and shrimp gumbo. This recipe can be found on my website, uniqueeats.net. Click on ebook and recipes. It's going to be the first one there at the top because I'm about to upload it right now, y'all. You got to try it. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a little quick taste test. Y'all know what it is. It was fire. You know I had to cook it up.